Hi there, this is Jane, and in this video we're going to have a look at the Rockschool guitar grade 2 scales. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through all the scales individually, and then afterwards I'm going to give you some tips on how to play them. So let's get started. The first scale is C major. Now hopefully you've already had a go at this one before, because we have it at grade 1. It's going to be using the same fingerings. The only difference here is that we're going to be playing it a little bit faster. So all I'm going to do for this one is just play it through at the 80 beats a minute that's required for this exam. If you want to walk through on how to play your C major scale, you can go and check out the grade 1 scales video, which is posted. There's a link to it posted below in the description. So here it is at 80 beats a minute or with down picks. So that's the C major scale. The next scale is G major. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play it through for you with the metronome at 80 beats a minute with down picks, and then after I've done that I will walk you through it. So here it is. Okay, so to start off the G major scale, we're going to need a G note. Now that's at the 3rd fret on your 6th string, the thickest string, so that's your G. I'm playing this in first position, so I'm using my 3rd finger to play that note. The next note is the open A string, which is your 5th string. Following that, we have a B note, which is at the 2nd fret on that A string. Use your 2nd finger for that note. Then we have a C, which is at the 3rd fret on the same string. Use your 3rd finger. Then we're going to have an open 4th string, which is a D. Following that, we've got an E with your 2nd finger at the 2nd fret on that D string. Then we're going to have an F sharp, which is at the 4th fret. So I'm using my pinky for that note. And to finish off, the highest note is the open 3rd string, which is a G note. Okay, so that's in ascending order. Now when you're doing it in the exam, you have to do ascending and descending. Remember, you don't play that top note twice, you just use it as a pivot. So I'll play it one more time for you with the metronome at 80 beats a minute or with down picks. Here it is. And that's your G major scale. The next scale is the first of our natural minors, and it's the E natural minor scale. So again, what I'll do is I will play it first for you at the right speed, 80 beats a minute, and then I'll walk you through it. Here it is. Okay, so for this scale, we're going to start off with an open E note, which is your thickest string, the 6th string. Then we're going to play an F sharp at the 2nd fret on that string, using your 2nd finger. Then we're going to play a G at the 3rd fret on that same string, using your 3rd finger. Following that, we have an open A, which is your open 5th string. Then a B note, which is the 2nd fret on that 5th string, with your 2nd finger. Then a C at the 3rd fret on that same string. Then we're going to have an open D, which is your open 4th string. And the last note is an E, which is at the 2nd fret on that 4th string. Okay, so again, that's in ascending order. You need to play ascending and descending in the exam, making sure you only play that top note once. So I'll play it one more time for you with the metronome, 80 beats a minute or with down picks. Here it is. And that's your E natural minor scale. The next scale is the A natural minor scale. Now we've already seen this one as well at grade 1. So for this one, I'm just going to play it through at the 80 beats a minute that's required for this exam. If you want to have a walkthrough on how to play this scale, go and have a look at the grade 1 scales for this. There's a link in the description below. Here it is. And that's your A natural minor scale. The next scale is the C minor pentatonic scale. So I'll play it through for you, first of all, with the metronome at 80 beats a minute, all with down picks, and then I'll walk you through it. Here it is. Okay, so for this scale, we're going to be moving up to the 3rd fret to start us off, so we're going to be in 3rd position. Now this means that our first finger is going to take that 3rd fret. And we're going to use the 1 finger per fret rule for this. So any notes that we have, we're going to have notes at the 5th fret and the 6th fret in this scale. So we're going to be using our 3rd finger on the 5th fret, and when we have the 6th fret, we're going to be using our pinky. Okay, so that C note is at the 3rd fret on that 5th string. So that's your first note. Then we're going to have an E flat note, which is at the 6th fret on that same string. I'm going to be using my pinky to play that note. On the next string, we have an F, which is at the 3rd fret. So we're going to be using our first finger to play that, because remember we're in 3rd position here. Then we've got a G, which is at the 5th fret on that same string. Use your 3rd finger for that note. Then we have a B flat note, which is on your 3rd string at the 3rd fret. So use your first finger for that. And to finish off, we have a C note, which is at the 5th fret on that string. Okay, so that is the pattern ascending. In the exam, don't forget, I know I sound like a broken record because I keep saying this over and over, you only play that top note once. You play it ascending and descending. I'll play it one more time for you with the metronome so you can hear it again. Here it is. And that's your C minor pentatonic scale. The next scale is the G minor pentatonic scale. Now this is very similar to the C minor pentatonic scale. It's using the same finger pattern of 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3. But instead of starting on the 5th string on a C note, we're going to be starting on the 6th string on the G note. Okay, so again, we're in 3rd position for this. We use our first finger to play that G. And then we're going up to a B flat note at the 6th fret, using your pinky to play that note. Then we have a C on the 5th string. That's going to be your first finger. To a D, which is using your 3rd finger at the 5th fret. Then we have an F, which is at the 3rd fret on that 4th string. And the last one, we'll go up to our G, which is with your 3rd finger at the 5th fret, okay, on that same string. And again, make sure you play that top note once. I'll play it through one more time for you with the metronome at 80 beats a minute, or with down picks. Here it is. And that's your G minor pentatonic scale. The next scale is the C major pentatonic scale. So what I'll do again, first of all, is I'll play it through with the metronome or with down picks at 80 beats a minute, and then I'll walk you through it. Here it is. Okay, so for this one, we're going all the way up to 7th position. Okay, so your first finger will take the 7th fret, your second finger will take the 8th fret, and your pinky will take the 10th fret. Okay, so we're starting on a C note, which is at the 8th fret on that 6th string, so you're going to use your second finger for that note. Then we have a D note, which is at the 10th fret on the same string, so you're going to use your pinky for that. Next note is an E, which is at the 7th fret on the 5th string, use your first finger. Then we have a G, which is at the 10th fret, okay, on that same string, using your pinky. Then we have an A note, which is again at the 7th fret, but this time it's on the 4th string. And to finish it off, we have a C, which is at the 10th fret on your 4th string. Okay, remember, keep the one finger per fret rule going there, and keep your fingers nice and fanned out. In fact, all these ones that are in closed position scales, the minor pentatonics that we've just done, and these major pentatonics, keep your hand in a nice claw and keep your fingers as close to the frets as possible. It'll make it easier when you're playing these scales. Okay, so what I'll do one more time is I will play the scale through for you with the metronome at 80 beats a minute, how it's required in the exam. Here it is. And that's your C major pentatonic scale. The last scale is the G major pentatonic scale. Now this one's going to be using the same fingerings as the C major, but instead of starting up at the 8th fret on a C note, we're going to be starting at the 3rd fret on a G note. Okay, so we're going to be in second position here, which means that your first finger will take the 2nd fret, your second finger will take the 3rd fret, and your pinky will take the 5th fret when we need it. Okay, so we start with a G, which is at the 3rd fret on that 6th string, and because we're in second position, we're going to use our second finger to play that note. Then we have an A, which is your pinky at the 5th fret on that same string. Following that is a B, which is your first finger at the 2nd fret on that 5th string. And then we're going to have the pinky stretching to the 5th fret, which is a D note. Your first finger is going to play the E at the 2nd fret on the 4th string. And then the last note is your G note, which is at the 5th fret on that same string, using your pinky to play that. Okay, I'll play that one more time for you with the metronome, 80 beats a minute, all with down picks like it is in the exam, so you have an idea what it sounds like. Here it is. And that's your G major pentatonic scale. Okay then, once you feel fairly confident with these scales and you can play them all nice and smoothly with the metronome, we can start playing around with the notes in the scales and playing some scale sequences, because these can really help to ingrain the patterns in your brain and in your fingers. Now at this grade, I'm just going to give you 2 scale sequences to play around with. If you've had a look at the grade 1 videos already, there's a scale sequence in there, and we're going to be using that scale sequence plus an extra one at this grade, just to help you really get these scales under your fingers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a couple of the scales and show you both of the sequences, and then I will provide a lesson on my website that you can go and find all the tabs for all the scales and all the sequences. All the details are in the description below. So let's get started. So the first scale I'm going to look at is the G major scale. Now the first pattern we're going to be playing is going up 3 notes. So we take the first note in the scale, the G, then we go up 3 notes, G, A, B, and then we go to the second note in the scale and go up 3 notes, A, B, C, and then the third note in the scale and go up 3 notes, B, C, D, and keep doing that until we get to that highest note, G, and then we come back the other way. Okay, so this is a nice straightforward pattern for you to learn, and once you've got it under your fingers you can start playing it along with the metronome. Now eventually you want to be playing this at the speed you're going to be playing the normal scale in the exam. So what I'll do for you now is I'll play it through at 80 beats a minute so you get an idea of the kind of speed that we're aiming for with this. Here it is. Okay, so you can see that I played that ascending and descending then. Okay, now like I said, all the tabs for this lesson are going to be on my website, and there's a link in the description below. So that's the G major with the first sequence. So we've got a different sequence now we're going to have a go at playing, and I call this one the note skipping sequence. Okay, so we're going to start with our G note. We're going to skip the A and go straight to the B. And then we're going to play the A note, skip the B and go straight to the C. And then we're going to play the B note, skip the C and go straight to the D. And then do the same with the C, play the C, skip the D and go straight to the E. And we're going to keep that pattern going until we get to that top note. And then we're going to come back down the other way. So what I'll do for you now is I'll play that at the 80 beats a minute, which is what we're going to be aiming for when we're doing these scale sequences. Here it is. And that's the second sequence for the G major scale. Okay, so let's try both of these two sequences on a minor pentatonic scale. For this one, I'm going to choose the G minor pentatonic scale. And first of all, we're going to do the up 3 notes one. So we're going to take the first note of the scale, go up 3 notes, then the second note of the scale, up 3 notes, then the third note, then the fourth note, and that's as far as we can go with this one. Okay, remember we can play this ascending and descending. So what I'll do is I'll play the 80 beats a minute for you with the metronome, which is the speed we're going to be aiming at for this, to help us really solidify these scales. Here it is. Okay, so once you've got that one under your fingers, you can have a go at the second sequence, which is the note skipping one. Okay, so again, it's the same as what we did with the major scales. You play the first note, miss a second, go to the third. Play the second note, miss the next one, go to the next one. This one requires a little bit more jumping around with your fingers, and it's really good practice for you at getting your fingers to jump across the strings. Okay, so what I'll do is I will play it for you at the 80 beats a minute, which is what we're aiming for with this, to really help us get these ingrained in our fingers, these scales. So here it is. So that one's a little bit shorter and it's a lot of jumping around. It will take a while to get that scale working, that scale sequence working really well. So start off playing it nice and slowly and gradually building the speed up. So I've shown you the two sequences there on a couple of the scales. You can apply those sequences to all the scales, and I've provided tabs for this on my website, the details of which are in the description for this video below. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this useful. If you have any comments, you can leave them below. You can also contact me via Facebook and Twitter. I'm usually putting lessons up on there quite a lot, and also you can have a look on my website, the details of which are below in the description. I also provide Skype lessons for people who are looking to do the Rockschool exams. Again, the information on that is on my website and the link is in the description below. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. See you.